Imagine scrolling through your feed and feeling a surge of sympathy for someone sharing their pain, only to later find out it was all just an act. Why are so many people now faking mental illnesses and are just using it as a tool for profit? Let's uncover the truth behind this TikToker named The Enigma System, who has around 100,000 followers who faked their struggles to scam their followers for money and for attention. And we'll jump straight into that. But first, guys, if you could please leave a comment down below saying great video, I'll reply to every single one of you, and it just helps the algorithm push these videos so people can become more aware of these terrible content creators scamming their followers. I appreciate it massively. Thank you. It never ceases to amaze me how TikTok creators in the race to go viral sometimes rely on an oddly effective tactic, even if they lack a truly unique talent. By portraying themselves as belonging to the most marginalized groups, they capture instant attention and sympathy.
Are you a white-bodied system or an ally of systems that we've made laugh or taught something to over this time of us being on TikTok? Then celebrate your Juneteenth by giving us some reparations. Due to the melanin proficiency in my skin and the melanin deficiency in y'all skin, it's safe to presume that at one point in time, my ancestors were slaves. I'm sorry. And your ancestors were racist? So in light of that new knowledge, or old knowledge that you've probably known for a while, help out a black content creator, a black system, by blessing that Cash App. If you can't, that's perfectly fine. I could always use some song suggestions of the songs that you think people might like to dance to. Thank you. Have a great Juneteenth.
This is exactly how one TikToker, known as the Enigma System, began to gain traction. They have carefully checked every box that automatically triggers support online, claiming to suffer from the complex mental illness dissociative identity disorder, DID, identifying as transgender, and emphasizing their racial background as central to their persona.
You can normally tell how I'm doing mentally with how my makeup looks. I'm feeling a bit unhinged today is what I'm saying. I identify as mentally unstable. What type of mentally unstable am I? I listen to musical soundtracks on shuffle.
It might sound unbelievable, but this approach works more often than expected. With the current surge in digital activism and mental health discussions, distinguishing between genuine struggle and performance has become increasingly difficult. Many experts now warn that the exploitation of serious mental health issues online not only misleads the public, but also harms those who truly suffer from these conditions.
I have a question for all the hosts out there. How exactly did y'all get y'all system?
Well, you see, when God was making us, he accidentally knocked our brain off the end of the table and it just...
I have
No makeup. No wig. I'm still looking good.
In a very short time, the Enigma System has gathered nearly 88,000 followers, while generous donations have turned this presentation into what seems like a reliable income stream. By casting themselves as a creator in need of sympathy, and by aligning with several marginalized communities, they tap into the natural human urge to help without even having to ask. And since DID is at the core of their brand, any challenge to their claims is immediately dismissed as offensive. Yet, there are numerous red flags in their story. One major concern is their cavalier treatment of a disorder that is deeply painful for those who truly suffer from DID. In their TikTok videos, they often make light of a condition that, in reality, causes immense personal struggle. This not only misrepresents what DID really is, but also disrespects those who battle it every day.
I just want to say, I'm part of the LGBTQ community.
Really? You a singlet? What happened March 7th, 2013 in your life? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Another troubling aspect is that the Enigma system has never shown evidence of seeking therapy or professional help. If the diagnosis of DID truly forms the foundation of their platform, proper treatment should be a key part of their narrative, a detail that is conspicuously missing.
Job, no hobbies, no bitches, just hateful vibes, small scope plans, and you know what? They get away with it most of the time.
How they first appeared on TikTok. In July 2020, the Enigma system claimed to have discovered they had dissociative identity disorder. By early 2021, they began sharing their experiences online without explaining how they reached the diagnosis or who confirmed it. Despite these glaring omissions, many followers were immediately drawn in. Some even urged the creator to produce videos introducing each alter, asking for details such as names, ages, and roles that supposedly set them apart. It is important to note that genuine cases of DID rarely follow such a neat and complete timeline. Typically, individuals take a long time to recognize and connect with different aspects of themselves. In fact, mental health professionals emphasize that the process of understanding and integrating multiple identities is complex and gradual, a reality that sharply contrasts with the rapid clarity shown in these videos. Their first video, posted in February 2021, just 7 months after the alleged diagnosis, already showcased what appeared to be a complete understanding of every alter. This quick turnaround contradicts what we know about DID and raises serious doubts about the authenticity of their story. Their alters seem to be perfectly coordinated. Adding to the mystery, the Enigma system not only claims complete awareness of each alter, but also displays an almost rehearsed excitement when followers request a public reveal. Such over-the-top reactions suggest that the portrayal might be more of a performance than a genuine lived experience. For additional context, several observers have noted that the pressure to gain online fame can push creators to dramatize aspects of their lives, especially when it involves mental health conditions. This performance can blur the line between real suffering and a staged act designed to capture sympathy and financial support. To be clear, real DID occurs when someone's mind separates traumatic memories and identities as a coping mechanism. It isn't a switch that can be turned on and off at will. Many individuals with DID experience co-consciousness only occasionally, and some alters may be distant or inactive. Expecting a seamless, perfectly timed display of all alters for an online audience is not only unrealistic, it grossly misrepresents a serious mental health condition. There is growing concern across social media that some individuals may be faking or exaggerating mental health disorders to gain sympathy and financial support. With mental health issues being discussed more openly today, distinguishing between authentic experiences and calculated performances is more important than ever. Viewers must remain alert and informed to avoid being misled by these carefully curated narratives.
Boys, girls, theys, gays, lesbians, bisexuals, transgenders, asexuals, and everything in between, how are y'all doing today? My name is Anukit, I am 26 years old, and I am a social alter for the Enigma system. And yes, I am well aware I talk very loudly, but it is one of those things that distinguishes me from the rest of the system. So, I'ma stick with it. If you don't know where the name Anukit comes from, she is the Egyptian goddess of the Nile, and she is also known as the Embracer, which fits perfectly for me because I am really supportive of all of my friends and family. 3 things about me. My favorite color is orange, my favorite movie is The Prince of Egypt, and my favorite dessert is elephant ears, which is sad because you can only get them at carnivals. And due to COVID, there's no carnivals happening anytime soon. So I'm just going to have to struggle in silence. Nice to meet you all. We went with the Enigma system because we are a system full of weebs. And our favorite villain is the Riddler. So, yeah.
Tell me what your name is, and then tell me what people mispronounce it as.
Well, my name's Lance, but some people mispronounce my name as Rowena, Nyx, Anubis, Anukit, Alpha, Omega, Charlotte, Jenny, Alice, Shane.
This adds to the growing list of things that just don't seem right about the Enigma system. They've been unusually open about their alters having inner dialogue, suggesting that every identity has its own private channel to talk and listen.
Hey guys, I don't know how to do the job. Figure it out. You are on your own, kid. So y'all are mad and it's not even my fault. Figure it the fuck out.
I want to climb the tree. You do know we're turning 30 in 2 weeks, right? We're not. I have to climb it so we can clean it. We're not climbing the tree. We're climbing this tree. I'm gonna say it again. No. We are climbing this tree. You are going to hurt us. We are climbing this tree. Our knees don't work like that no more. Yeah.
Scientifically, the brain isn't built to handle multiple simultaneous conversations. While some people with DID do report experiencing internal communication between different states, no one describes it as seamless or easy. Most who have worked through their healing say these communications come as disjointed thoughts, subtle urges, or vague feelings, not as a neat, continuous back and forth conversation inside one's head. Now, let me be clear, I'm not here to discredit anyone's personal experience because every journey is unique. However, when someone like the Enigma system shows no signs of long-term proper therapy and still makes bold claims about their condition, it's hard not to feel skeptical. Their portrayal of DID often seems as if it were lifted straight from a fanfic or a random internet forum. It's as if they didn't take the time to do any real research and simply adopted the narrative that sounded the most compelling at the moment. What's even more surprising is that despite their overly simplified posts, they confidently share opinions about how DID should look and feel. Take, for example, their take on Hollywood's portrayal of DID. In one segment, they criticize films like Split and Glass for depicting the disorder as something evil or dark.
Hi there, it's Anukit, and the reason why I sound so calm right now is because I'm currently co-conscious with our caregiver Simone, and she kind of like mellows me out. I have seen Glass, and I have seen Split, and they are not good representations of the DID community at all whatsoever. They paint us in a very, very bad image, and that is not the case. I appreciate your question because that does mean that you're curious about it, but Split and Glass are not good places to start if you're trying to learn about DID.
To be fair, these movies do exaggerate and distort DID, often framing it in a way that makes the disorder seem menacing and dangerous. For those who aren't familiar, Split is a 2016 film about a man with 23 distinct identities, one of which is violent, while Glass, released in 2019, continues that unsettling storyline. The Enigma system isn't entirely wrong about how damaging these portrayals can be. Such films can leave viewers with lasting impressions, making it harder for real people with DID to be seen as human instead of villains. Even so, movies are just movies and should be taken with a grain of salt. What's concerning is that the way the Enigma system presents their disorder isn't far removed from those dramatized versions. They now act as if they hold the authority to define what is legitimate, all while reinforcing stereotypes in a way that is meant to be relatable or even educational.
Well, you tell me, I'm in your brain. So, I don't know, I just popped up. So listen, how does this work? What? I don't know. Chair feels right. Yes, my name is Chair. I've decided my name is Chair.
Moving on to another red flag, their rejection of professional help. Their diagnosis seems to have appeared out of nowhere, with no clear process behind it. They often dismiss the idea of getting formally assessed, arguing that a psychiatrist's opinion doesn't matter because the condition won't simply vanish.
Diagnosis or no diagnosis, my mental illness isn't really going anywhere. So yeah.
Seriously, you can't compare mental health to something like strep throat or a skin infection. Seeking a proper diagnosis isn't about magically curing the disorder, it's about learning to manage it better. It's about helping the system work as a whole, building trust between different personality states, and addressing core issues. Although there isn't a one-size-fits-all treatment for DID, dismissing expert help only makes things worse and increases the risk of harm.
Okay, here's what I'm suggesting, sir, or ma'am, or they if you're non-binary. Let me get on live, I'll add you on the live, and we can have an open discussion as to why you think I'm faking it. Alright, no more back and forth banter.
When critics call out the way the Enigma system is shaping public perception, their response is equally concerning. They claim that mocking people who hesitate or ask questions is a natural trauma response from their alters. Sure, anyone with DID might be sensitive about being misrepresented, but that doesn't justify turning every bit of skepticism into an attack. After all, they chose to make their personal struggles public, share them as content, and build a following around it. It's only natural that people will have questions, especially if their behavior doesn't match what most experts know about the disorder. Instead of getting defensive, this could be a chance to educate their followers, or at least explain that some details are not ready to be shared.
Welcome to the Enigma Systems Singlet series, where I will be going to system pages and fake claiming them. I'm only going to do it with permission, and it's only going to be a joke. So if you're okay with it, put a comment saying like, hey, do me. I will go to your page, find the video, and just fake claim you in a stitch. If you're not okay with it, then it's okay. It's just all good fun here, all right? Let's take back fake claiming.
But that isn't even the worst part. The Enigma system also tends to redirect this defensive energy toward others in the community, often bullying or gatekeeping those who don't follow their approach.
You know, this just, hold up. This just drew a line for me today. You know, seeing all of those systems at the meet and greet, posting the videos, just smiling and trying to enjoy, you know, a little bit of life. That's not what DID is. That's not what DID is, all right? DID is about struggle. DID is just that there's now a segregation in the community between people who showed up to the meet and greet and people who didn't show up to the meet and greet. And we need to stop segregating our community as a whole because, you know, it's bad. We need to stop this, all right? Stop smiling. You don't smile when you have DID. You don't try to enjoy your day with DID. You struggle. All right, I'm done. I can't keep this up, you know?
Adding another layer of concern is the hypersexual content scattered throughout their videos.
What's going on now? Oh, so she just don't care. Is that a tampon? I ain't never seen a tampon shake before. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. That bitch said, yeah. She said what?
Yeah, you could do her, then I could do you, then I'll take a turn with her while you watch.
You used to watch Sesame Street.
While there's nothing wrong with humor or personal anecdotes, it's problematic when a disorder that often stems from severe childhood trauma is repackaged as a joke. Even subtle jokes or offhand comments can deeply unsettle someone who has experienced real psychological pain. Sensationalizing DID in this way has real consequences. With watered-down, sugar-coated content and misinformation spreading rapidly, people start to believe that living with DID is only challenging when it makes someone difficult to be around. This shallow perspective hurts those who genuinely struggle with the disorder. It's heartbreaking to see viewers get hurt or feel invalidated by the portrayal of DID on social media. In many cases, content creators make it look like a performance, a quick ticket to sympathy, attention, and even money through views and donations. All of this contributes to a dangerous cycle. As this glamorized view of mental illness is pushed by algorithms, therapists begin doubting the sincerity of those seeking help. Doctors question their own evaluations, and anyone actually coping with DID faces the burden of constantly proving that they aren't faking it. TikTok has become a hotspot for self-diagnosing, especially among teenagers, and this trend only fuels the problem further. With so many unqualified influencers on the platform, it's alarmingly easy for a short clip listing a few symptoms to convince someone that they have something serious, prompting them to seek answers from the very accounts that sensationalize these issues. At the same time, many young and impressionable viewers trying to understand their own struggles end up idolizing creators like the Enigma system. Instead of finding reliable information, they are exposed to dramatized and distorted representations of DID. This not only misleads them, but also trivializes the genuine challenges faced by those with real mental health issues. It's clear that platforms like TikTok have become a double-edged sword when it comes to mental health. On one hand, they offer spaces for open dialogue. On the other, they can blur the lines between genuine awareness and harmful misinformation. The glamorization of conditions like dissociative identity disorder is particularly concerning. Short, sensational videos can make complex mental health issues seem trendy or even desirable, leading some, especially teens, to self-diagnose based on content that's more entertainment than education. This isn't just about misrepresentation, it's about the real-world consequences for those living with these conditions. When disorders are portrayed inaccurately, it can trivialize the experiences of those genuinely affected and make it harder for them to seek understanding and support. If you're looking to understand more about DID or any mental health condition, it's crucial to turn to reliable sources. Organizations like the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the International Society for the Study of Trauma and Dissociation, ISSTD, and reputable medical institutions offer accurate, research-based information. Remember, while social media can be a starting point for awareness, it's not a substitute for professional advice or comprehensive education. Staying informed and critical of the content we consume helps ensure that we're supporting ourselves and others in meaningful, respectful ways.
And in fact, it doesn't seem like it's going to end. It's one thing for them to just be posting this on TikTok, but they've also now gone out of their way to ruin TV shows, pretending to be some of the characters from shows like Has Been Hotel, for example, saying that some of their alters are literally from the TV series. They dress up as them, claim to have the disorder, and of course just downplay it entirely. Click here if you have any brain cells left and you want to check that out.